I'm getting ready to start on my Donny shirt, and I've got all my pattern pieces here that I have cut out in this blue kind of bandana print cotton, which I think is going to make a really cute casual type shirt. I have my iced coffee and my instructions, so I'm ready to get started. Just need to set up the ironing table. I watched a video tutorial on how to put the shirt together on the Friday Pattern Company YouTube channel, and the first steps are to do stay stitching around the neckline on these yoke pieces and the front and back pieces. Then you prepare the pocket, and you can sew that on the front, and you interface these collar pieces, or one side of the collar you interface. So I'm going to start on those preparatory steps, and I will check back in with you. I have spent a couple of hours working on this, and I have some thoughts. You can see here so far I have the pocket applied. I have the lapel and collar business put on, and shoulder seams done. And you can see the yoke there. It's a two-sided yoke. We're going to be doing the burrito method on that shortly. But I wanted to ask those of you who have made the Donny shirt what you think about the interfacing and stay stitching around the neckline. Now, the first thing that the pattern instructions required us to do was to stay stitch around all the neckline areas. So both pieces of the yoke, the lapels, the collar, all of that. It also required interfacing the collar and the lapels. Now, this cotton I'm using for this top is not a super lightweight cotton, but it's not a really stiff quilting cotton either. It's kind of somewhere in between. But I found that the stay stitching and interfacing made the neckline area very stiff and very hard to work with. So, for example, you make the collar first, and then you sandwich the collar in between this facing and then turn it out. And this is very thick and stiff right through here. And I did trim the seam underneath. But I think that stay stitching around the neckline stopped me from being able to ease things into the neckline. The fabric didn't have any natural stretch to it when I was trying to pin the neck facing and lapel area on. Now, I watched the Friday Pattern Company tutorial on how to construct this, and Chelsea, the founder of Friday Pattern Company and the narrator of the video, does suggest that you use a lot of pins, and she admits that it's a little tricky and a little fiddly to get that curved collar pinned onto the neckline area, because there are places where you're pinning a curve onto a straight edge. I just think if I had not stay stitched it, the natural stretch of the material would have allowed me to ease that in a little better. I also think when I make another one of these, and I anticipate that I will, I don't think I'm going to use interfacing on the collar and lapel area, because I think that interfacing made it very stiff. It feels stiff and thick. I'm also not sure I got that point area just right, but you know what? we'll consider the first attempt a toile, and we'll go on from there. So that's what I was able to accomplish in the first session of sewing on this. Now the next step is going to be to gather the center of the back piece and then attach the back to that yoke area. And that is done using a burrito method, so the back yoke will all be enclosed. Then the sleeves, the side seams, and the hem will be what's left. So I'm thinking maybe I can get this done in one more session, a second session of sewing. This took a couple hours. I imagine it's got a couple more hours worth of work on it. Now I did try this on. I did kind of hang it around my neck and look at it, and it looks nice and it looks like it's going to fit. So fingers crossed, and we'll keep working on it. Yes, Nellie, I hear you. She's down here supervising as usual. Aren't you? Yes. Hello. Well, it's done and I love it. I'm glad I lengthened it by about 2 inches. You can see it's got this high-low hem effect. It's a little longer in the back. The hardest part of making this for me was the neckline, collar, lapel business. Other than that, it was a really easy sew. All I had left to do today was the back, the side seams, and the sleeves, and put a hem on it. And all of that went very smoothly. Now I made an XL. I wear about a size 16, and I went by the finished garment measurements to determine my size. I think the size guide would have put me a size bigger, but the finished garment measurements had a lot of ease, so I decided to go with the XL. I want to make another one. I want to cut out another one right away, and the next time I make one, I'm not going to stay stitch the neckline, and when I will interface the collar, but I'm going to trim the interfacing piece to be slightly smaller than the collar piece so that at the edges of the collar I don't get that bulk. I think, excuse me, I think that might solve my problem here with the neckline. Now I do want to press this a little bit here because the opening is kind of not quite right. See who's there? What are you doing, Nellie? This is a bathroom door and her litter box is behind the door, so maybe that's what she wants. Anyway, I'm very pleased with this, and I hope you enjoyed hearing my comments about it and watching some of the making process. And with that, I will bid you good night, and we will bid this little girl good night, and we will move on to the next thing. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.